Hello and welcome again to another Love Darts interview. I'm super excited for my guest today for a number of reasons. Now, he's recently qualified top of the UK Q School Order of Merit. I've played him a couple of times. Well, on many occasions I've seen him at events. He's a local boy, a great character, a great ambassador and role model for the game, and he is going places. He is now a professional darts player and will play on the PDC Pro Tour. What an amazing achievement. It's Jack Mayne, everyone. Woo! Clap, 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 clap. Woo! Intro music. Boom! You're going to have to get used to that.
Yeah.
Welcome, Jack. Thanks for joining us today.
You're more than welcome.
So, how about that? I mean, have you got your intro music sorted? Can we get an exclusive? What we're going to hear?
I haven't, to be honest. It's not something I've thought too much into.
No.
Not something I've taken second thought about yet.
Look at him. He's still in shock. He does not realize what he's achieved. For many of us, this is obviously a massive dream. Obviously, for yourself, it's going to be a massive dream. But, seriously, welcome to the channel. As I've said in the intro, I'm thrilled to have you on. And it was just a matter of time, in my mind, before you be exactly where you are now. What a cracking few years of darts for you.
Yeah, like I say, it's exciting times ahead. I'm hoping to hit the ground running. So,
yeah, exactly. I mean, the main reason I wanted you on the channel is because to some people, you're just, you're a new face on the scene. But I've known you for a while now. We've played locally. Give us a brief on what you were doing before darts, because I mean, many people don't really know that you were quite a football player before you actually got into darts.
Yeah, football was my main choice of sport. As it is many young lads, football was everything. But luckily enough, I had a chance to play for Norwich for 2.5 years as an academy player, if you like. And yeah, that got cut short due to injuries and other little bits. And then, as you do, you keep following that dream. And I end up at Lowestoft for the under-18s reserves. And I was pushing for the first team at one point, and then that's when all the injuries come crashing down on me. And then, yeah, here I am playing darts.
And what position did you play?
Either left wing, right wing, or up front.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I know it's obviously quite a sore subject, but what exactly happened in that incident? How were you injured?
It is a long story, and many won't believe me or whatever. It is what it is. But over a course of, I'd say, 6 years, I had knee injuries. Well, knee problems as a young lad playing for Norwich. I actually had ligament damage, which was a part of the reason with my being released. I struggled to get back into it for a couple of weeks. Well, I'd say a year or so after I started recovering. Then I kept on going to doctors about my knees because they was just swelling up. They're so painful, but I just got the brush of the shoulder and said, "Oh yeah, it's just growing pains," which many years down the line, as a naive lad, you just carry on. You just think, it's growing pains, don't really matter. But as time went on, when I was at Lowestoft, I was playing for the under-18s and reserves at the time. And my last 3 games, I think I lasted on my last game 15 minutes, made a run, and my knee just gave way completely. And the physio said that he's not going to allow me to play anymore until I get it looked at. To then I actually that night, knee blew up to the size. My knee was just massive, it just full of liquid, full of swelling. It was horrible. The pain was absolutely. I couldn't bend my knee, and that was the point where I thought, I've done something here. I then went for my X-rays, my MRI scans, and they found out that my knee actually cracked in 3 places. So my kneecap was actually corroding away from obviously my first injury back a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
So then I went home, and as I did, I was like, I'll be fine. Walked the dog, and my kneecap actually snapped and gave way completely. I did actually have a video of it because many people don't believe me, but sadly that phone got lost. But I had my kneecap split and snapped completely off 3 places. There was a bit of my kneecap went down towards my calf. A bit of it obviously stayed actually where the kneecap is, and the other bit ended up in between my kneecap and my groin.
Blimey.
So as you can imagine, that was quite obliterated.
Yeah.
I had to hop home because, again, it is something that people don't believe. when it happened, it was more shock than anything. I was just like, oh, what's happened? And then I looked down to see these 2 lumps in my leg, and I had to hop home and get my mum to rush me up to hospital. Then I got into an emergency operation, which took 6 to 7 hours, and the pain in that, I can openly say I cried my eyes out, and all I can remember is it felt like someone was smacking me with a sledgehammer. And it's like I say, the pain was unreal. The actual operation was more painful than the actual injury. And then after that,
they reformed the knee.
What they happened? They put in Norwich Hospital. They've actually got pictures of my kneecap when they're actually surprised how damaged it was inside. So basically, the kneecap that was already falling apart completely was completely black. So they cleaned the big part of my kneecap, and obviously the other 2 bits around it was able to be saved, but they had to be cut down and washed up, and I had to have my knee drained. I had to have all the excess bone taken out, and as you can imagine, the pictures are quite mangled. I've had to have my cartilage taken out of my right knee, and because they wanted me to get back playing football, they put 4 screws into my knee to remold it back together, to which they done 1 screw too far in, and it's come out the other side, and I had to have another operation to have that taken out. But the actual kneecap had started to mold itself again. So I had to go through that. And then I was what's that? Sorry.
What a fiasco.
Yeah. So like I say, it's one of them. Like when even listening to it now, it just don't sound believable. But there's plenty of proof there to say that my knee was saved. Like I say, I've still got my own knee. I've got 3 screws still in it. They did say that I wouldn't play football again, which it took about 3.5, 4 years to be able to play just local league now, just for a laugh, just to get myself out and about. But it's that was tough mentally, especially as a young footballer and trying to go somewhere with it. And there's quite a prospect there, but mentally that did destroy me, and physically the pain. I still get the pains now, but it is what it is. You have to go over it.
Being so young to have such a significant injury, that's really tough. I mean, you say there that a lot of people don't believe. Did you get a lot of criticism and a lot of people sort of querying?
I know it weren't the criticism as much. It was literally how the story unfolds. Like the fact that when the kneecap actually broke and snapped in 3, that the pain, everyone's saying, "Oh, that must have been painful." My kneecap was basically on its last legs. The main damage was done when I was in pain and I had my legs swollen up. Like that, the main damage was done. So it's just a matter of, I suppose, it's just coming up.
Yeah.
And it was, I suppose, the adrenaline as well at the time took a lot of the pain. It weren't until I went up the hospital and they started trying to move bits about and like on the outside, and it's just I was belly turning. That was where the pain really got in, and then the operation as well was absolute horrendous. Like,
I mean, that's a lot to go through at such a young age, and obviously very difficult. To have something that you love doing so much to not be a part of your life anymore. But you say that how is the knee now?
Yeah, like the knee's fine now. Like I have because I'm working on site and do the darts, and I'm on my feet all day. So at the end of it, you can see the swelling in cold weathers. Obviously, with anyone that's had a break, cold weathers really take its toll on your but it is what it is. Like, it's one of them things. If that didn't happen, would I have started throwing darts? Probably not. Would I have made it in the football industry? I'd like to say there's a promising chance, but again, you just never know. So I try not looking at negatives too much.
Yeah, exactly. There's no point in worrying and spending too much time with the ifs, whats, ands, and things like that. You live in the now, and that's the best way to be. So, it's. I think a lot of people won't know that, and they'll just say, this is another young lad getting all of his dreams and everything. But, people all come from different places. They've all had their own struggles and things. So thanks for sharing that. And I know it was obviously quite tough, but ultimately it's led you to be here today because you obviously
Yeah,
directed and went into darts.
yeah, 100%. That was last sport that I thought I'd be picking up, but if it's sorts my life out, it sorts my life out, then so.
Yeah, absolutely. I got into it strangely as well. I used to play poker and run poker games.
Oh wow.
Obviously, a lot of the venues that you're at, there's a dartboard there, and sometimes if I got knocked out, I'll just throw some darts at the dartboard. Quite enjoyed it, got a little bit more into it, and then here I am today. And I was speaking to my uncle the other day. He's unfortunately not well as well, but another story. But yeah, he was like, of all of the things, darts would have been about 170th on the list, I think, of things that you would have done. Just I don't understand how you've got like so into it. He said, it's great, but just wouldn't have.
Yeah.
And I imagine that you play, as a young lad playing playing football, then switching across to darts is quite a similar sort of situation.
Yeah, it's well, it's
How
two
did you find it?
completely.
How did you find darts? What was the shift over?
See, back when I was a very young lad, my mum used to play darts herself. But again, that weren't any interest to me. I just had a football by my side all the while. But it weren't until when I moved to Norwich, and obviously all the football side of it just fell apart. My brother actually played darts. He had his dartboard downstairs, and I had a little throw with him, and that. I think that's where it started. It's a game for anyone, and it's like you can pick up any set of darts. You don't need to go anywhere for it. If you've got a dartboard at home, you can make as much fun as you want with it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I basically started throwing with my brother just for a laugh, and we used to have when we used to have a little bit of money, we used to throw a bit of money together just to. We weren't no good, let's face it. But
Is your brother older or younger?
my brother's older. He's 20. How old am I? He's 26.
So old.
Yeah,
I'm
he's
10
getting
years
on.
older than him, and I'm feeling it now.
Yeah,
But yeah,
that's it.
so I heard that you were at a pub and you were playing with Darren Webster, and he was impressed and took you sort of under his wing, said, "Right, give me a call." I mean, what is the story that made it go from "Oh, I'm playing darts with my brother, and all of a sudden I'm playing against Darren Webster, and he's giving me training."
Yeah. So again, that's another story. So basically, as I started progressing in darts, like just because obviously I couldn't play football, I was in a leg brace. When I started getting out my leg brace, I started going to local competitions because that was what my brother did. My mum used to take us and that. I started doing doing all right locally, and I didn't do the
Saw you in. I think I actually saw you in crutches or a leg thing early.
Yes,
Days. I was like,
yeah, that was the
crikey,
one.
he's brave. I can't remember. Was it your leading leg or your back leg?
Here's my leading leg.
Ooh.
So yeah, so yeah, that's where it kind of got together. And then when I come out my leg brace and started doing local competitions as well with my brother, and we joined. Well, we played in that like a singles knockout league in Wyndham,
Mhm.
and for myself, like again, I didn't follow darts, didn't really know anything about darts, didn't really know any darts player other than Phil Taylor, as many don't follow it.
Yeah.
I then come up against Darren and I think if I remember rightly, I went 3 or 4 nil up against him, and then I'll just look round and there's quite a few people eyeing up the game and walking over, and you hear little nigglets on you throwing darts, and you're like, who am I actually playing? And then obviously
Yeah.
he did beat me in the end. He did beat me, and that's when it all come out when I come off the board. He just said, "Well played" to me, and he kind of walked off, and then a few people were saying, "Oh, do you know who that was?" I was like, "Well, not really. Like, I'm just here to throw darts. Like, I'm just doing it for enjoyment."
Yeah.
And yeah, little couple weeks down. Well, I think it was a couple of weeks. I couldn't remember exact timing, but I got a message off him on Facebook saying, "If you want, be around mine at this time. Here's my address, and we'll see how we get on." And from that moment, I practiced with him every day other than when he was on the pro tour for 2 years.
Did you message him back and say, "Sorry, who are you? Are you the guy that I nearly beat last time?"
No, I was like, well, as anyone does, like if someone of that caliber come to you and say, especially if you're in that sport, if they come up to you and say, look, be around here, and they'll show you the ropes if you like, you're going to take it. Yeah, anyone will take the opportunity. And so I took the opportunity while I was there, and yeah, it seems like it's paid off.
Yeah. So when he messaged you, had you researched him and knew who you'd played at that point, or was it then once he'd messaged you, you were like, who is this guy? Oh,
yeah. So basically, obviously, I got knocked out of the tournament, and I was waiting for, I think, my brother to get knocked out as well. So I obviously took a look. I didn't speak to him for the rest of that night. I didn't speak to Darren at all. So then when I got that message, it was just like, hang on, this could be in something. If someone like of that caliber wants to me to go and practice with him or throw darts with him, it shows something. So as I say, I took the opportunity, and it's paid off. Well,
so
luckily
that
enough.
first session when you're there, he's like, right, you weren't bad, mate. Let's see what you got.
No, that first practice I had with him was very vivid. Like, I don't think we really spoke much. It's just like, I think from his side, it was kind of, let's see what you got. Like, let's see if you're consistent, or how you're throwing, or what do you need to work on. I think we helped each other in a sense. I didn't need to help him out to throw darts. Let's face it. He's done what he's done in darts, and I was just a practice partner to him, really. So yeah, but
how did you do in your first session?
Yeah, we'd never played games against each other. I've never, other than that time in the local competition, I've never played him in a match ever.
Really?
So yeah, that's another thing that people always ask me: have you played him? Well, no, I've played him once, and that was when I first ever met him. There's more to darts than just playing people for the sake of it. Like, you can have a laugh with your mates and play them for a little bit of money if you like.
So what did he say? He said, right, Jackie boy, we're going to do around the world doubles. You got
no, he didn't.
5 minutes to do it. Off you go.
So obviously, I go in. We had a cup of tea together. We had a chat, and then it was just like, go on and let's get to it. Let's loosen up the arms. So we're just throwing at the 20s as you do, and then we went straight into 1-2-1, which I'm pretty sure everyone knows that's practice routine. And we got to, I think the first session we actually got to the 170, and it was just like, okay. And then when it all got wrapped up, it was like, right, I'll see you tomorrow. I was like, Jesus, like, okay. So I was around there again next day at 7 o'clock. I was there until 10, I think, and then he go, I'll see you tomorrow. And then it just went from there. It was just everyday thing. And when he was on his pro tours, and yeah, when he went away for his pro tour, obviously I didn't see him. I was just doing my own bits. And yeah, that stemmed from that for 2 years.
Wow. So did he say at the end of it, oh, Jackie boy, you choose one car for your birthday, you know, Mr. Miyagi style?
Yeah. No, it weren't nothing like that. He as everyone sees, he's a character. He's very stone-faced. He's very professional in what he does. So yeah, it was just like, it is one of those, I don't know how to say it. It's just one of them, until you've won something, don't mention anything.
Yeah.
As it, like I say, it's great to be like, it's so you don't get too complacent with yourself. So I weren't doing too well on the development tour at all. Like, I found that quite hard when I first started. And when I did do well, I think I got to the quarter final. I told him, and it's like, okay. And there's a site, and that's where you're like, oh, hang on, I'm going to prove to you. And so it was a good trait to have. He kept my feet on the ground for a long while. So
Yeah.
I can't really knock it.
No, that's good. I mean, did he take you then to exhibitions and events and sort of show you the ropes from there?
Yeah. So so at first I went to a pro tour, and first ever pro tour I went with him to support him, sort of thing. And he just wanted to show me what it's like what the surroundings like, what it's like to be in the venue of the players. And I think that was an eye opener myself. Like, it's just like, this is where I want to be. So it just give you that bee in the bonnet. But yeah, so he actually won. Funny enough, he won that pro tour, and it was just like, and then I think he got to the quarterfinal or semi-final next day. So I was like, fair enough. Like this, and he was like, that's how you win a pro tour. Like, fair enough. And then he got to the Worlds, and I was there the whole way through the world with him. When he got to the quarter final or semi final that year. He had a corking year when I think the first or second year I was with him, and so we started off with like that, and then we had end up under the same management, which has been absolutely amazing for me.
You can't just, we just ended up on the same management. How did that happen? Did he obviously speak to them and say, you need to look at this guy, or they say, right, we've seen you at a few of these. What happened?
Again, that's another vivid, everything started to come quick like it has now. Basically, he said to me that our manager Jess wants maybe sign me up, and I obviously met Jess at the Worlds. We had a chat, and then he put me on a contract, and here we are. Like that was kind of how it happened, and then Jess
contract
with JBD Sport Agency.
There we go.
So he technically just picked me up off back of nothing, off the back of Darren, basically, to say that I practice with him. And lucky enough, that's how it falls into play. Like, I'm practicing with Darren, I'm doing well, or he's speaking highly of me, whether he was or not. I don't know. I weren't ever there, but
or he was.
then it come about, and obviously I signed my first contract. It was like, wow, we're actually in it now, and I've started as well. I'm under 5 years with him, so in my first 3.5 years being with Jess, I got my tour card.
So you've been signed with them. What do they do? What does that entail? What does that mean? What responsibilities do you have to them? Do they have to you? What do they provide you with? What do you have to do for them?
Well, basically, I can just be a darts player. Like I would say, I can just be a darts player. I don't need to worry about my hotels. I don't need to worry about realistically, for me, it's just go and play. Just do the best you can, and we'll sort the rest out. So, if companies want to sponsor me, they just sorts the deals out. He'll sort out the products. He'll sort. So, that's the long and short of it. I just play my darts. So
they basically make your life easy and make sure that you can concentrate on the darts.
Yeah, 100%. He makes sure that my feet are on the ground. He makes sure that I'm practicing. He's making sure that I'm putting in the hours, and he makes sure that he's doing his side of it, which, quite frankly, he's done me a world of good. So I can't knock it.
Excellent. I mean, were you getting to play pros behind the scenes when you're at these events?
I done an exhibition, my first exhibition, 2 years ago. I think it was 2-3 years ago. And it wasn't a massive one, but it's with the likes of Chris Mason. Bobby George was there, who I spoke to and took a lot away from. I can't actually remember too much about it, if I'm totally honest. It was just hit me so quick. But that was an eye opener. You get to play with the lads, and the lads that have obviously done well in their careers, and they tell you stories, tell you different bits to put into your game or help your game. So that was good. Regarding
was that another Jack, be around mine tomorrow, and then the next day, once you've trained, everything's like, tomorrow night you'll be at the exhibition. We'll see you there. What?
That weren't one of them ones. It was that was just little words of advice to obviously push you forward. It was nice to hear. Like I say, even now I'm still a novice. I've only been in the game 2-3 years, 3-4 years. I haven't been in there. This is what people don't understand. I ain't been in there long. I just dedicated myself when I had the opportunities. So that was it. And regarding pros, I've played a few of them, obviously, on development tour when the lads were on there to challenge tour. I've done that, and even now on the Q School. The first day, I think I played 5 of the pros that dropped off the tour, and I beat 4 of them. So
fantastic.
It kind of shows where the game's at.
I'll go into that a little bit more later, but now I believe your darts are Cosmo. So how did it? I know obviously you've got Darren who's with Cosmo as well. Did that come along with it? Did they say, "Oh well, okay, well you look like a young prodigy. We'll maybe get you some darts sorted out"? Or...
Yeah, I think Darren was the one that helped get my contract with Cosmo under the with me as well. So Cosmo have been great. They've supplied me with the materials, and I believe my darts are going to be in the process. I'm using the darts that funny enough, bought off eBay.
Yeah. What
Yeah,
darts are you using then?
I'm using really old Phil Taylor's. I don't even know what they're called. Just the unicorn ones, the phase ones of
Phase
Phil
ones,
Taylor.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, the straight barrel. 24.
24.
So
24
yeah, I picked
straight barrel. I don't know how long those ones are. I think they're about 52 mil.
something like that. Like I say again, I literally just bought them off eBay and started throwing with them. I think they cost me about 14 quid.
Yeah, this is the best way. You see, it's just well, pick up a set of darts, stick with them, use them. I've gone completely the other way. You see, I was quite scientific. I like to when I started darts, I was like, right, okay, I want to work out what does what. So I bought a load of
Yeah,
different darts, load of different stems, load of different flights, worked out, I went with a Phil Taylor bomb style. I went with a straight barrel, I went with a torpedo, and tried everything out for probably about a year and a half, 2 years before I then started to go, right, this is what I really like and start playing. So I wish I probably had have settled on a set of darts, picked them up, gone, yeah, they're the ones I like, and using that's it.
yeah. But funny enough, it was kind of the same story. I was just buying darts off eBay when I got into it. I was just like, if I pick them up cheap and I like them, I was happy days. And if I like I say, I like this set, so I was looking for more on eBay, and
Yeah.
I bought a brand new set, which I still think they're in the box. I haven't touched them. These ones are just battered. Yeah, but
Oh, no.
if it works, it works, doesn't it?
Absolutely, and it's always good to have spares as well. So make sure if any others do pop up, you just stick them away, especially if they're
Yeah,
cheap. It's worth. I've got
100%.
so many people who message me all the time, going, do you know what dart this is? And I go, oh yeah, I think that's so and so. They don't do them anymore,
No,
and you have to just wait and hope that something comes up on eBay or put a post
yeah,
on Facebook. So, I always recommend have 2 or 3 sets of your darts if you really like them, especially if they're not in production anymore. As soon as they're going to go out, buy them up and keep.
totally agree. Make a few quid off them as well.
Yeah, exactly. But it's a very personal thing, your dart, and you can pick up. People go, it's just a set of darts, isn't it? It's like, well, no, it's the same as everything, really. They go, can you really tell the difference between 1 gram and 2 grams and things like that? It's like, well, actually, I
Yeah,
can. I've spent a
massive.
lot of time. Yeah, it's massive, and it changes the entry level, different flights, different stems, does all sorts of things. So, yeah, definitely pick up some more. And but you've got some Cosmo ones coming soon, hopefully. Yeah.
Yeah, like I say, that's still in talks, and I'm still waiting for what the plan going forward is with that. I shouldn't imagine there'll be too much different to what I'm throwing, but to have my own dart would be quite cool. So
Yeah. Well,
we have to wait.
yeah, I've just had a set designed by Thornton Darts, and his approach to it was very much, look, what are you throwing? I sent him pictures and things,
Yeah,
what weights, what things like that. So I dare say Cosmo will probably do a similar thing. Go, right, okay, well, if that's what you like, is there anything else that you prefer to have? Would you like any specific references and things, or can we jazz it up a bit here?
yeah,
Touch that section and stuff. So it's going to be quite exciting, I think, that next stage. And now you've got your tour card. They're going to be, oh, Jack, we'll sort your darts out now.
yeah. I'd like to think so, but like I say, that's not. That ain't something I'm too fussed about. It'd be pretty cool, but
Yeah.
so I'm not trying to get myself too ahead.
Let's hope that you win on Thursday, and then they'll be like, Jack, we need to get your darts released now.
Yeah, but well, like I say, I've my eyes on Thursday, and hopefully I hit the ground running. But
Yeah.
that's another story.
I mean, I'm just very hopeful for you. I think it's going to be a great fun, and yeah, Thursday.
Yeah,
Now, yeah, I mean, also one of the things I really like about Cosmo, I mean, they're a nice, stylish company. You got these fancy little jewelry, but my only experience actually of Cosmo darts are, in fact, the Webster and the Mickey Mansell's.
yeah.
They come in the sort of almost jewelry box, you pop it open and they look really fancy. They're really well done. It just makes you feel they're a little bit special. So
Yeah.
as
Brilliantly
soon as
made.
they get released, I think they've stopped doing the jewelry boxes. If they have, I'm going to be gutted. And if they have, you need to say to them, no, I want to go old school. Bring them back in, or get them to make me one and send it to me. I can't
No,
wait.
they really are well made, to be fair. So
Yeah, it's a good sponsor, and I for my reviews, I use lots of different flight combinations and stuff as well, but I don't have the Cosmo setup. Which ones do you use at the moment?
I have actually got I don't know how much longer they're going to be available, but I've got I don't know if you can see that, the Lion.
Yeah, and
The
I
Lion
believe you have a competition going on as well, right?
Yes, I've given a set away on Monday, I believe.
There we go.
And I've
I have
thrown with
entered secretly on my other account rather than the LoveDarts one to try and make it look. Maybe I should enter on both, but no. So, guys, if you haven't, head over to Jack's Twitter and have a look at that. Make sure you subscribe to him and give him a follow. But hopefully, after this, I won't need to tell you to do it. You'll enjoy learning all about Jack and what he's all about. But yeah, they look they look really cool. Were they a
yeah,
personal
they're
design,
real
or
nice stuff. What's that? Sorry.
was it a personal design, those, or you just saw those and went, yeah, I like
No, these aren't actually my own design. The lion's almost what I've got on the back of my dart shirt. So that's why I chose them. And lucky enough, they gave me a set. But I don't actually know how much longer they're going to be in production. So
Well,
lucky enough,
maybe they'll have a personal one for you soon, so you won't have to worry about it anyway.
yeah. Well, that'd be a nice one.
Absolutely. Now, yeah. So, Cosmo, if you are listening to this and you fancy sending me some stems or flights to compare with the others, talk to me. Talk to me. Right. So, moving up to your 3.5 year time frame of your darts, which you actually had a 5 year plan and you did it in 3.5 years, which is amazing.
Yeah.
You've been around with Darren and behind the scenes. What's your first sign of actually, oh, I'm quite good at this?
Um, it's a good question. Like I say, as everyone does, when you're thrown in your bedroom and there's no pressure, there's nothing, you actually start almost, I say, surprising yourself. Like you hit the, all of a sudden you're hitting ton 40, ton 80, ton 40, or ton 80 on 9 dart, and you're thinking, oh, hang on. Then you start doing it more frequently, and you're seeing yourself constantly in treble 20, and you're thinking, no, actually, there's something there. And then to then do it in local competitions, and then start seeing yourself go deep in competitions, you start thinking, hang on. And then obviously practicing with Darren and seeing what he's doing, and then kind of looking at what I'm doing, it's just like there is something there. And
Yeah.
that's when I thought, you know what, I'm just going to give it a go. I've got management under me now. I've got my product, and let's see where this brings. And well, after 3.5 years,
I'm a few steps behind you there.
yeah.
I'm not winning competitions or getting too deep into them. Obviously, with the lockdown period, I haven't had much of a chance to test myself, but I started to hit a few more things now, and I identify with you on that early stage of going, oh, actually, maybe there's something there. For me, I'm hoping really just to hit that standard of Super League and getting to maybe, eventually have a bit of time county and push for Q School maybe next year. That's obviously dedication wise. But this morning I jumped on the board and thought, right, I don't know if we're going to have this interview early. So I was like, right,
Yeah.
jump on the board. I'm just going to have a quick game, quick 501. I did a 15 darter and I was like, that's really good. I'm really happy with that. It's ton 40, 61, I think it was. And I was like, I can do it when I want to, but
Yeah.
what is with the inconsistency? And I've always wondered, with a player of your caliber getting that stage, do you still have those sessions where, you get to the board dry and you throw a 26 and you're like,
Yeah,
Jack, come on.
I think every player gets that.
Because I look at you and think, right, okay, that's going either in the treble 20 or just slightly above, and there's generally quite good grouping. But do you have those days where it's a bit all over the place and takes you time to focus in and stuff?
Yeah, not. I can honestly say the past couple of months, not so much. But when I've been at work all day and been on the building site and you're throwing darts and trying to get that practice and focus, you start seeing your darts wander because maybe you're too exhausted, you're mentally exhausted, or whatever the reason. Then you have to tell yourself that's when to put them down. Otherwise, you're going to do more damage than good. But sometimes you do take a little bit longer to get into it when you're practicing or in a game. Like you see plenty of players, sometimes they kick off really slow and all of a sudden, bang, they're in it. So it's one of them. It's another one that swings and roundabouts. I think you have to have everything right to be able to prepare yourself right, play right, have your mind right, body right. You have to have everything proper, and you have to have the preparation there. Otherwise, you're almost there to fail if you don't get yourself right. I personally think.
Exactly. Yeah. Did you win the Moreton Hall Open last year?
It went last year. It's before COVID, wasn't it? Yeah. I won that. Yeah, 2 years ago that would be. Yeah, I won that.
It's a great competition for those of you who are. Yeah. For those of you who are, I mean, obviously, Jack's very local to me. We play in a tournament called the Morton Hall Open, which is on an estate that I live on, and Jack's obviously not too far out. And it's great fun because you get actually quite good, you get some really good players all of a sudden just turn up. You're like, oh, great. Okay. So I've got Jack Mayne here. I've got Jason Mould here. I've got Nathan Derry here. You just get all these people just randomly turning up. And it's like, it's a great chance for people to meet people and sort of, and that's where I actually had a proper chat with you. I was like, Jack, you're playing so well. And everything like, yeah. And I don't know if I played you in that or if I played you in one of the, I think it was like the Evolution Darts events or something. But I remember chatting to you and I was just like, what a nice young lad. You have plenty of things to say. I mean, you absolutely smashed me. But I had a couple of moments of like, I think I did 2 back-to-back tons and then like an 85 or something. You're like, no, you have those moments there. You just keep going with it. And I was like, I feel like he's 10 years older than me, just talking to me and giving me advice. You've got an old head on young shoulders.
Yeah, well, like I say, I don't try and be something I'm not. I'm always willing to help anyone. I was like that when I was playing football. Obviously, I want to bet on myself, but obviously, if you can help someone else and put a smile on their face, then so be it. I'm all for it. Yeah. So yeah, trying to keep myself as I am.
Are you still able to play those tournaments?
Yes, I believe so. I'm still waiting for my contract to come through from PDC, so I'm waiting to see. As I say, I'm still new to this myself. I'm still trying to get my head around it. But if I'm right in thinking, I can go to local competitions if I want to, but I just can't be streamed on them. Yeah. So long as matches aren't streamed on them, then I'm allowed on.
So what we'll do is we'll set up a stream. You throw the darts, and then I'll cut I'll cut it so that no one sees what you hear. But yeah, no, it's going to be a whole new situation for you and stuff. I know that Matthew Edgar obviously does a lot of YouTube stuff, but can't stream those games and stuff. But have a look and see what you can do and things, and I'll see if I can get you on the channel. And maybe if I can't even see your scoring, we can see your score going down or something. Have a game, that would be great. But I look forward to it, and hopefully it's not too much reading. I imagine the contract's going to be quite interesting to go through.
Well, if I heard right yesterday, it's 48 pages long, so that's going to be a long old read.
There you go. So you're studying still.
Yeah, still trying to learn.
So, pre-tour card, you were doing the development tour. Tell us a bit about what that is and what your experience was with it.
Yeah, well, again, I think I went on development tour when I was with Darren. Darren told me that there is other. Like, you got obviously the pro tour, you got the challenge tour, then you got the development tour. So when I heard about that, I thought, I'll throw myself straight into it. I didn't do any of the pub.
For those who don't know about the development tour, just tell us sort of what it is, what ages you have to be, what's the requirements.
I believe it's 16 to 24, but you have to be in that age gap within a certain month and certain time. That's about as much as I know about the age category. I know it's 16 to 24. You got over the year before COVID, I think you had 5 weekends with four events each weekend, with the World Youth Finals at the end of it, which if you earn enough money and rankings, and you go into the finals, and then you play one big tournament up until the final, and 2 finalists go into the World Youth Final, which, as you'll know, James Hubbard won it a couple of years back. Well, I say a couple of years back, a little while ago.
Yeah.
So and that's
once again another player that I got drawn again. I like you came into it quite new and fresh, and I was very, very good friends with Darren at Evolution Darts. And every tournament that I'm at, I'm like, oh, I've got this guy, Jack Mayne. What's he like? He's like, nah, you'll have him. He's easy. I get smashed, and he's just like, yeah, he's an amazing player. And then I get like Jason Mould, and then I had Hubbard, and I had Darren Brown. I had Ryan Meikle, Nathan Derry, all of these people, and it's just so funny because I get these draws and people just laughing. I'm like, what? And it's like you probably turning up playing against Webster, except you did quite well. I just got absolutely annihilated, but it is good fun, and it's a very accessible sport, and it's that's part of the reason that I love it. But did you get to play Bennett?
Later, no. I'll tell you what. My first youth tour, I think the first 4 events I played Ryan Meikle twice, so that was a good start. As I say again, I weren't really was the first proper PDC event, and I was like, oh, brilliant. Then I didn't really know who he was, but that's quite a way to get into it.
Yeah, I can't wait for the obviously that's our local derby, the Ipswich versus Norwich. So
Yeah.
that's going to be great fun to see if you guys clash heads and have a game. That's going to be great for us local boys. Now, I believe now that you're a more accomplished as a player, that you don't see as much of Darren. Do you still keep in touch?
No, me and since the start of COVID or the pandemic, obviously you're not allowed to mix households and whatever, so that kind of faded away. So I don't think I've been with him for about a year and a couple of months or whatever, but roughly about a year, and that kind of simmered away. And I actually moved house as well, so where I was pretty much on his doorstep, I'm not so now. So yeah, that's faded away now. So I believe he's still doing what he's doing, and I'm doing what I'm doing. So yeah.
Bit of a shame, but maybe you'll meet up again, and it'll spark again, or you'll be Darth Vader and Obi-Wan Kenobi and whatnot. It's going to be a Return of the Jedi now, but we'll see how that goes later on. Now, take us through the first day feelings and what you're experiencing when you turned up at Milton Keynes, because a lot of people, I see a lot of interviews and people talk about how have you done, or how's your darts, this and the other. I want to try and help people sort of envisage what happens when you're there. You're there, you're at Milton Keynes with ex-pro players, people trying to get their tour card back. Were you nervous, excited, looking around, wanting to imagine, we want to imagine ourselves in your shoes? What happened when you first...
Are you talking about the Q School that has just happened now, or the previous?
Well, whatever you feel like giving us insight into.
Well, I'd like to say, first Q School, I was just like, I just turned up and just wanted to see where my game was at against players other than within the PDC, but other than the development tour. So that I went into that completely oblivious about everything, and so I can't really say much about that. It was just an eye opener. I think anyone that likes their darts and thinks that they can throw at a decent stand, I'm all for it. I think you should go to Q School and just witness it more than anything. It's great. It's you can take lots of positives from it. I definitely did from the first one. But this one, it was a little bit different due to COVID. So obviously, I was in 1A before the final stages, so I had to qualify through to the finals of the Q School, if you like. So yeah, going into that was a bit different, because obviously we're going on the back of Q School not being able to play any local darts. We've not been able to go down the pubs or clubs and play your mates or practice with people. It's only been in the bedrooms, and I kept myself away from the online darts. I didn't think that was going to do me no favours at all. So going into it, I just thought, look, everyone's in the same boat here. Like, no one's been able to play proper darts, if you like. So I thought we was on a level playing field, and in the back of my mind, I was just like, get through to the final stage. That's the main thing. It was when I was putting pressure, but I wasn't. I was just make sure you get to the final stage, and we'll go from there. I've been throwing brilliant darts since the pandemic started, so let's go. So that was that, and I managed to get into the final stage on the last day of 1A. So I needed 2 points on that particular day, and there I was. I managed to get it, and there you are. I was sitting in a hotel room at the time when I got knocked out, looking at the darts ranking system to make sure that I was there. And once I was home and dry, I was over the moon. Just thought that's the first bit done. That's to a certain extent, that was the hard bit done. Because everyone wanted to be in that final stage. Let's face it. That's why you went to Q School. So that was that. Again, my thought process was literally just get to the final stage. And when the final stage,
in that first stage, when you're there, you're signing up. Are you looking over your shoulder, going, "Oh, there's Painter over there. Right, he's I'm going to watch his game, see how he's doing." Did you have your target? Did you look at anyone and think, "Yeah, that's
no,
in from enjoyment, or just I'm going to have you."
No, I'm very, like, anyone that knows me, I come across a little bit arrogant, if you like. All I do is from the moment I wake up in the morning, I obviously have my shower, I have something to eat, I have my breakfast, get myself prepared, go down to the venue, and from the moment I step in the venue, I've got my headphones on. I practice. I keep my headphones on. I speak to the lads on my table. We have a laugh and that, and then my headphones are back on. Like to me, I've always been there to do a job, whether it is to earn money or the Q School stage. That we're in a single man sport. You can't worry about the people that are in the venue. They're not the ones paying your bills. They're not the ones that are putting food on the table. And that's how I approached it. Like, you have your friends there. Don't get me wrong. Of course you do. You have your mates there. If you travel down there with your mates, you have the people you know. But at the end of the day, when you're on the hockey, it's a free for all. It's all against all. And at the end of the day, that player's trying to beat you just as much as you're trying to beat them. So yeah, I don't really look about. I'm not one of them that's that fussed. I know if I bring my game, then hopefully we'll have a great game. If not, then I still hope I win. You know what I mean? But,
yeah. I think that's the best way to be. If you start focusing too much on everything else, it's I'm trying to think of it from a movie perspective of the Jack Mayne story. Who's he focused on?
Like I say, I think all the players there, especially now with Darts Connect, especially if you're on the PDC tours. Of course, I think a lot of players look at when it comes up on TV screens and on Darts Connect, you look who you've got and you look what the possibility of the routes are. I think in the back of your mind, that's always going to be there. You want to see where your route is going to take you. But again, you look at the averages. I think I'm not one for averages. I set myself a goal to get 100 average over the final stage of Q School, which that's another story. But I think
might have done a 103. We don't talk about it.
Yeah. But as I say, I think a lot of players now are just looking at the averages, and that's the least of your worries. The one that with the W at the end of it is the one. That's all that matters. If you win with a 74 average, you're laughing. At the end of the day, if you win with a 60 average, you're laughing.
I think from the perspective of the spectators, they're obviously going to be looking at the averages and things as well, especially for people who play darts, because they're going to be wanting to know, right, what is it going to take to win? So they're looking at the averages and going, right, okay, well, these ones are obviously really, really impressive. That's if you want to get through and win. But if I'm going to Q School, what do I want to score so that I'm not going to be embarrassed?
No, I'm with you there, but people are forgetting. All it takes is a couple of missed doubles. You can go 140, 180, 140, and if you miss 12 darts at a double, look what that's done to your average.
Yeah.
Like, that's what pressure does to you. Like, you can miss the doubles, and once you start missing and you're in that rut, then those doubles look tiny, and that's what people are forgetting about Q School. I saw a lot on social media about, look how poor the averages are, and I'm thinking, hang on, go there and then see where your game's at. Like, because people don't realise how daunting the any of the PDC tours can be. Like, it's not a jolly up down the local. It's not just a local competition with all the lads that you're coming up against players that don't have a clue who you are, and quite frankly don't care who you are. They're there for the same reason as you are, and that's to win. And again, like, I think averages are there to take a look at and see where your game is. And with Darts Connect, you're lucky enough to see the whole game. Like, you can see every score that you've hit. You can see where you went wrong, and you try and put that right next day, or
at the end of the day, that's what you need. The double.
Yeah, of course.
You need the win.